the element of surprise. He can feel footsteps and vibrations of an animal flapping in the water or standing in the water like I'm foolishly doing. And he'll move in right in front of where that animal is coming down to get a drink. He'll come in nice and slow as well, so he doesn't give himself away, and he'll pretty much ambush it from the edge. So he'd wait for that animal, depending on the size of it, what it was doing, he would wait for it to get a drink, wait for it to stick its mouth into the water, and get itself a drink. Come on, big boy. Come on, mate. The food. Oh, good boy. So you can see how quick they are from the water's edge, but once he's out on hard solid ground, you can see he's quite slow. Straight away, I was only a couple of metres from him, and all he wants to do is go back down into the water. They're very, very in tune with their environment. Like I was saying before, he can feel footsteps lining the side of his jaws. He's got little tiny nerve endings, and these help him to pick up any movement in and around the edge of the water. If you get to see one close up, or even some of the alligators that you see, little tiny black dots all over their face. They're called integumentary sense organs. And this is what helps him to feel those vibrations, wait for the animal to get nice and close. And at Mossman's size in the wild, he'd be taking out kangaroos, pigs, probably even small cattle. No worries at all. So something of my size, I am well within the size of food that he could possibly take out. The food be fine. This is where it makes me really nervous. Oh, boy. I'll change my undies now. Can you move it for me please, Chris, so I can get through there? So we've got another way, he has another way that he can catch his food. I just want to get Chris to move him for me, obviously, so I can get past there. And just while Chris is doing this, just before we came out, Chris had a bit of a chat to me, and Chris wanted me to let any single ladies in the crowd know that he is also available. He's, just a word of warning though, oh, you're on Tinder, aren't you, mate? Just swipe right, is that how it works? So you can find him on Tinder. Word of warning, he is a Star Wars nut. He loves Star Wars. He collects all the action figures, and he still lives at home with mum, and he's 35, so word of warning there. Righto, so we'll try and do this tail walk now. Now this tail walk that we're going to show you, it's not something that we've trained him to do. It is a very natural behaviour. All you do is you just have to hang something over the water, and they just know how to do it. Now they do this right from the day they're born. When saltwater crocodiles hatch out of their egg, they're about 15 or so centimetres long, so they're tiny, tiny little critters. And at that size, they'll use this tail walk to catch insects and frogs and things that are on reeds overhanging the water. So they'll use that to get their dinner. And even at his size, in the wild, he would still use it. They'll pluck animals that are sitting in trees and branches. They've even been known to catch animals, birds that are flying mid-flight over the water. Now the great thing about this clear water, same as the strikes that we've seen, is you can see how it does it. So what he'll do is he'll pop his head up, just like he's done there now. So where he's sitting now, he's got 3 points of his head, the most important features on his head, his eyes, ears and nose above the water. So he can show a very small amount of his head, and he can see, hear and smell. He'll angle his head up, just like he's doing now, and you'll see his feet. His feet are anchored on the bottom of the pond, and he'll use those to push his body up and out of the water, and he'll also swing that huge tail. Now that tail is about half his body. You can see it twitching behind him there, and that's what he uses to get his power to come up and out of the water. Work, mate. Now you hear that popping sound there as he grabs his piece of fish. Now all that is, that's just his jawbones smashing against each other. For quite a large crocodile, he would have an enormous amount of pressure. You're looking at something over 3,000 pounds per square inch closing jaw pressure, which is the strongest jaw pressure of any animal alive today. So if I was to stuff up today and hang something out too far, wouldn't end well for me. He's got 64 to 70 teeth and all that jaw pressure. And that's what he uses to secure his prey and kill the animals that he's after. Mate. Good boy. So it's really, really important that you keep that in mind when you're in Northern Australia. You don't sit on trees and branches that are overhanging the water. It's a really big lesson.
So crop territory is not actually here on the Sunshine Coast. It starts about 600 kilometres north in a place called Rockhampton. It continues across the top end of Australia down to Broome in Western Australia. The crocs, they much prefer to reside in those warm waters.
Righto, so we'll see if we can get Mossy all the way out again. What I want to try and do on this one is show you how fast he can run. Now everyone will tell you the crocs can run as fast as a horse and all this kind of stuff. So I'll see if I can get him all the way out so you can see just how quick he is. See that tail going behind him? That's what's giving him his power to get out of the water. So now that he's pretty much all the way out, this is flat out. And you see I can walk backwards and stay out of his way. Good boy. Stay out of his way. Now give him a round of applause, isn't he awesome? Good boy. So you can see I can walk backwards and stay out of his way. Absolutely no worries at all. While he's out, I can even sit here in front of him. And as long as I watch him, I'm really in no danger at all. I certainly wouldn't want to fall asleep right here or anything like that. But the point is, he knows he can't chase me down. When you look at the way his body is designed, you can see clearly that living in the water is really where he's designed for doing basically his whole life. You can see half his body is his tail. Now that's what makes him quick in the water. That's what makes him quick in the water. But on land, very, very slow. You see he's got short, stumpy little legs, huge, big round body there. So he really can't run. He's kind of like Chris, sorry mate. He really can't he's really not designed for running around on land. So the rules are simple when you go into crocodile territory. We say it over and over again on our shows, and that's you don't swim, you don't go in the water, and you stand back from the water's edge. And like we saw over there, you don't overhang the water. And that is it. I can stand in here, Chris and I can stand in here and act like we're some sort of heroes. Feeding Mossman today, we're not. It's very, very easy. A little bit of common sense. Do the right thing when you're in crocodile territory and stay out of that water and back from the water's edge, you will never ever have a problem.
In Australia, crocs are our apex predators. We don't have tigers, lions or bears. The crocodile plays a vital role in their ecosystem, helping keep our waterways healthy and resilient.
And take a look at him. They truly are the last living link to the dinosaur era. 260 million years in the making, and you are now looking at a species that is so perfect. They've not had to change for the last 65 million years.
That's exactly right, and we don't expect everyone to go away loving crocodiles like we do. We're a little bit fanatical about them, I guess. We're pretty lucky we get to work with them every day. But if you can just leave with a little bit more understanding for what these guys are really all about, a bit of appreciation, I guess that's really all we can ask. Big fella Steve, he loved crocodiles with everything he had. That was no secret to anybody, and he passed that passion on to all of us here in Australia Zoo. We all live and breathe his conservation message show. So with that in mind, we thank you very much for listening to our crocodile show at the zoo.
And now it's your turn, ladies and gentlemen. Get out there, live a little on the wild side, and always remember, crocodile! See you later, everyone. Thanks for coming.
Posing.